The rain hammered against the windshield as Marcus Chen pulled his battered Honda into the gas station, his daughter Emma asleep in the back seat. It was past midnight, and they were still 2 hours from home after her dance recital. He was exhausted, running on coffee and determination, the usual fuel for a single dad working 2 jobs. But as he stepped out into the downpour, something made him pause. There, huddled beneath the flickering neon sign, was a little girl. She couldn't have been more than 7, soaked to the bone, clutching a torn teddy bear like it was her only friend in the world. Her eyes were red from crying, her lips trembling from the cold. Marcus's heart clenched. In that moment, every instinct screamed at him to help, even though his own life was barely held together with duct tape and prayers. Marcus approached slowly, not wanting to startle her. "Hey there, sweetheart. Are you okay? Where are your parents?" The girl looked up at him with those wide, terrified eyes and shook her head. I don't know. We were driving and I fell asleep, and when I woke up I was here. They're gone." Her voice cracked, and fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. Something didn't sit right. Marcus glanced around the deserted gas station. No frantic parents searching, no other cars. Just this tiny girl, abandoned in the middle of nowhere. He knelt down, making himself less imposing. "What's your name, honey?" "Lily," she whispered. "Okay, Lily, I'm Marcus. Listen, we're going to figure this out together, all right? But first, let's get you warm and dry." He looked back at his car where Emma still slept peacefully. Every practical bone in his body said to call the police and wait. But it was freezing. She was terrified. And something in her eyes reminded him of Emma, when her mother had walked out 3 years ago. That same lost, abandoned look. Marcus made a decision that would change everything. He grabbed the emergency blanket from his trunk and wrapped it around Lily's shaking shoulders. "Come on, we'll call the police from somewhere warm." Inside the gas station, the clerk barely looked up from his phone. Marcus bought hot chocolate and tried to coax information from Lily while they waited for the police. She was vague about details, said her last name was something like Morrison or Madison, couldn't remember her address, said her mom was always busy. The whole situation felt increasingly strange. When the police arrived 40 minutes later, they ran her description through missing persons. Nothing. No Amber Alerts. No frantic calls. It was as if this child didn't exist. Officer Rodriguez frowned at his computer screen. "This is unusual. We'll take her to Child Services, but, Mr. Chen, we might need a statement from you tomorrow." Marcus watched as they prepared to take Lily away. She grabbed his hand, those eyes pleading, "Please don't leave me." His heart shattered. He thought of Emma, of how scared she'd been when it was just the 2 of them suddenly. Against every reasonable thought, he heard himself say, "Officer, it's late. My daughter's in the car. She's the same age. Could Lily stay with us tonight? I'll bring her to the station first thing in the morning. She's been through enough tonight." Officer Rodriguez studied him for a long moment, then sighed. "I shouldn't, but be at the station by 9 a.m. sharp. Don't make me regret this." Back home, Marcus set Lily up in Emma's room. His daughter woke up delighted to have a sleepover friend, and the 2 girls were instantly inseparable, whispering and giggling despite the late hour. Marcus stood in the doorway watching them, wondering what kind of mother could lose track of a child like this. The next morning, Marcus made pancakes, his specialty, and watched the girls eat. Lily smiled for the first time, and it transformed her whole face. "My mom doesn't make breakfast," she said quietly. "She has people for that." "People for that?" Marcus raised an eyebrow. Before Lily could answer, there was a knock at the door. Actually, it was more like pounding. Urgent, demanding. Marcus opened it to find a woman in a designer suit that probably cost more than his monthly rent, flanked by 2 men in dark glasses who screamed security. Behind them were 3 police cars. The woman's face was pale, her eyes wild with an emotion Marcus couldn't quite read. "Lily?" she called out, her voice cracking. Lily appeared from the kitchen and froze. "Mom?" The woman rushed past Marcus and dropped to her knees, pulling Lily into a desperate embrace. She was crying, not delicate tears, but huge, racking sobs. "Oh God, oh thank God. Baby, I thought... Officer Rodriguez appeared, looking grim. "Mr. Chen, this is Victoria Ashford." The name hit Marcus like a punch. Victoria Ashford. Even he, who barely had time to follow the news, knew that name. Tech billionaire. Her face was on magazine covers. Her company had revolutionized online security. Victoria finally looked up at Marcus, mascara streaming down her face. "You saved my daughter. You—" She seemed unable to finish the sentence. "I just gave her hot chocolate," Marcus said awkwardly. "Anyone would have done the same." "No." Victoria's voice was sharp, certain. "They wouldn't have." "Lily, go with Emma for a minute. Mr. Chen and I need to talk." Once the girls were out of earshot, Victoria's expression changed. The grateful mother disappeared, replaced by something harder, more frightened. "Mr. Chen, I need to tell you the truth. What you stumbled into last night. You saved Lily from more than just the cold." She took a shaky breath. 3 days ago, I received a credible kidnapping threat. Someone had been watching us, learning our routines. My head of security insisted we change everything. Routes, schedules, safe houses. Last night, we were moving Lily to a secure location when our convoy was attacked. Professional hit. They separated the cars, created chaos. In the confusion, Lily's bodyguard managed to get her out, told her to run to the nearest public place and stay visible. He didn't make it. Her voice broke. They found him this morning. Marcus felt the blood drain from his face. "The men who attacked you are being dealt with by the FBI as we speak. But here's what you need to understand." Victoria's eyes locked onto his. "Those men spent hours last night searching for Lily. They had resources, weapons, connections. But you know what stopped them from finding her?" She paused. "You. A single dad, broke-down Honda, probably exhausted from working too hard, who saw a scared kid and didn't just call it in. You took her home. You kept her safe. You made her invisible by making her normal." The weight of what could have happened crashed over Marcus. "I had no idea. That's exactly why it worked." Victoria smiled sadly. "If you'd known who she was, you might have hesitated, made calls, attracted attention. But you just saw a child who needed help. Do you know how rare that is in my world? Everyone wants something. Everyone has an angle." She wiped her eyes. "Last night, the FBI tracked security footage. They saw you buy her hot chocolate, wrap her in your blanket, hold her hand while you waited for the police. And I sat in my panic room watching this stranger be more of a parent to my daughter in 1 hour than I've been in months." "That's not true," Marcus said automatically. "It is." Victoria's voice was hollow. "I've been so focused on building my empire, on security and success, that I've had people for that, just like Lily said. I have a chef, nannies, tutors, drivers. But I've missed recitals. I've missed bedtimes. I've missed her." She looked toward where the girls were laughing in the other room. "She smiled more at your breakfast table this morning than I've seen in weeks." Marcus didn't know what to say. He thought about his own struggles. The bills piling up, the exhaustion, the constant worry that he wasn't enough for Emma. But at least Emma knew she was loved. At least she had him, fully present, even if he couldn't give her everything. Victoria seemed to read his thoughts. "Money can't buy what you gave Lily last night. Safety, yes, but also kindness without expectation, pancakes and laughter, the feeling that someone cares just because she's a kid who needed help." She straightened, business returning to her posture. "I'm going to give you a reward. I know you'll say no, but I'm giving you $2 million. Marcus started to protest, but Victoria held up her hand. "It's not negotiable, but there's something I want more than that money could ever buy. I want you to teach me how to be the parent you were last night. I want Lily to have what Emma has. I want to learn how to make pancakes and actually be there for bedtime." Over the next hour, as the FBI wrapped up their investigation and the security team secured the area, something unexpected happened. Victoria and Marcus talked, really talked. She asked him about single parenting, about making Emma feel safe after her mother left. He asked her about balancing work and family, about the weight of responsibility. They were from different worlds, but in that moment, they were just two parents trying to do right by their kids. When it was time for Victoria and Lily to leave, surrounded by security that made Marcus's head spin, Lily hugged Emma tight. "Can we have a play date?" she asked hopefully. Victoria looked at Marcus, a question in her eyes. He nodded. Emma would love that. As they drove away in vehicles that cost more than Marcus's house, Officer Rodriguez clapped him on the shoulder. You're either very lucky or very blessed, Mr. Chen. Maybe both, Marcus said, watching Emma wave goodbye from the window. True to her word, Victoria transferred the money and Marcus's life changed overnight. But more than that, she kept her promise. Over the following months, Lily and Emma became best friends. Victoria started leaving work early for dance recitals and sleepovers. She learned to make pancakes. They were terrible at first, but Lily loved them anyway. And Marcus, who'd felt invisible for so long, found himself with an unlikely friend who understood the weight of protecting a child in a scary world. The FBI eventually caught everyone involved in the kidnapping plot. Victoria's company thrived. But what she valued most was the sound of Lily's laughter at their new weekly dinner tradition. Alternating between Marcus's modest home and Victoria's estate, where she'd converted one wing into a normal apartment, complete with a kitchen she actually used. One evening, as they watched the girls build a blanket fort, Victoria turned to Marcus. You know what the terrifying truth really was? Not the kidnapping. That was just criminals being criminals. The terrifying truth was that I'd almost lost Lily long before anyone tried to take her. I'd lost her to my own ambition, my own fears. You showed me what I was missing. Marcus thought about that night in the rain, about the decision to help a scared little girl. I just did what anyone should do. That's exactly the point, Victoria said softly. But so few people do. If you believe in the power of kindness, in second chances, and in the moments that change everything, that one decision to help someone when you have nothing to gain, then this story is for you. Sometimes the smallest acts of compassion create the biggest ripples. Sometimes a single dad with a big heart can teach a billionaire what really matters. Like this story, if you believe one person can make a difference. Comment with a time when a stranger's kindness changed your life. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that good people still exist. And subscribe to our channel if you believe in celebrating everyday heroes. Because the world needs more people like Marcus who see someone in need and simply help. No questions asked, no reward expected. That's the kind of humanity we should all aspire to. That's the kind of world worth building, one act of kindness at a time.